I think for now the form cover, but Alpha OneTV message so you subscribe to Alpha OneTV. Message over subscribe. No like, no share, no turn on notification bell and subscribe update BA bell. When subscribe to me, I can make a comment section on your the message so will leave you comment. Maybe be also one. And then in summer there is a secret and a highly exposé. Most well-known journalist Eddie Abetuja ever saw a man or more Supreme Court judges 5 of them. There is one woman away highly with powers was sneaky echo one of the MP a member of Parliament at them on any champana a brother onim se and answer yin say sa Supreme Court judge Obano waware nanso so one sa MP atwempena na before ansa na court ruling ba enra there was a CCTV footage and answer being caught afenyo Markins ku rasa judge we them ama before ansa na yesterday ruling was at head and answer yesterday ruling ba so momianko nyinko tie nchiremu ne one sa Supreme Court judge or obey Juma na odi and I say Juma one sa MP edi na this is a best shock you yankoti your body can be an best also
marking after your market coin or catch a Supreme Court say MPs me and some MPs MP and Emma Alban bag bin jina so ebu asem and so oko Parliamentary na MPs 9 omo wasem and the Alban Bagbin a take a decision or take into what will make the Supreme Court take half truth and try to judge or make a ruling on half truth, because you cannot go to court with half truth. And it's when you go to a Parliamentary, you will see this. I'm trying to get you everything. Moma yankonko tie the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court timer Speaker of Parliament the lawyer Kesi.
And so that was taken into account before the court that makes the extensive orders relating to even 4 parliamentarians. When the writ itself affected 3 parliamentarians, it didn't even include Article 97 1 each. And so all of those orders were made based on some of those findings. And I'm saying that, and the position is that the first defendant, based on these things, expects that in order not, especially when the court reaches the conclusion that on the balance, there was no balance, there was just one side of it, because it was an ex parte application. And they were ahead. What was the balancing?
Sorry.
Yes.
I thought you were just responding to a very straightforward.
Oh, yes.
But now, the case that we are hearing into the substance of the motion itself, I would urge you, rather, to restrict yourself to the objection that and answer it, whether it's scandalous or it's not scandalous.
This is not scandalous.
My problem is,
yes,
if your other friend on the other side has raised these matters and you think it's not scandalous, you don't have to, as it were now, veer into the substance of the application itself.
My Lord, I needed to demonstrate that these things were not just said at any.
Just restrict yourself.
My Lord, I thought I was doing that. And so, as far as I'm concerned, apart from the use of the word scandalous, which he just used, he doesn't demonstrate how scandalous it is based on the context of the application that I have before.
You allege that the Chief Justice is privy breach of a constitutional provision. What are you trying to convey?
It may have been by reason of evidence. But if that's a statement of facts,
was it necessary for you to add that in your depositions for you? What exactly were you trying to achieve? By adding the point that the Chief Justice was privy to a constitutional breach. I think that is the point it was.
Oh yes, but the point is that if she was privy to it, her ruling must reflect that. If it doesn't, it's one of the grounds on which I'm urging the court to set it aside.
So, Speaker of Parliament lawyer, the Okache Supreme Court say, "After marking Baha Abekase, MPs me and someone some and Alban Babin Jina so ebua na some or speak Parliament." Nanso anya no kre nipa ye ka omo asem omo ye 9 inti eden na afenyomakin eba parliament ebedi eba supreme court ebedi atrokyere mo say nipa miensa enho asem na Alban Bagbin ejina so ebua say NDC majority ena judge for mo to say oh na asana woka no ye pese ebusa say den na woka say chief justice krampo no de oyeye no entwa ye omo ntia say obi beka say chief justice take decision bia sad decision no scandalous entwa ye into omo problem no say the word scandalous omo problem no say aden na woka say chief justice decision bi o take ye no based on the afenyoma kende ba no entwa ye enti de enti na emane kasa say chief justice akasa na entwa ye. So how can we be here that we are dealing with half truth? Because after afenyomakin in parliament, time Alban Bagbin eka say MPs and 9 abaku free NDC miensa free MPP we you omato akonwa no ade achi no parliament krano they were supposed to do what? They were supposed to in fact draft into Alban Bagbin ruling no na I was a parliament at the court in time into redia so oko parliament documentation mua there was a memo Alban Bagbin from parliament no release here after afenyomakin court no 21st of October 2024 editor of database chamber reporting office of chamber reporting memo say pursuant to regulation 551C and 0 of the Parliamentary Service or Staff Regulation 2019 CI 118 explain why a disciplinary action should not be instituted against you for photocopying the drafts Hansard of Thursday 17th October 2024 and making same available to some other persons without authorization. Your response should be submitted to the editor of database chamber reporting by 4 p.m. on Wednesday 23rd October 2024. Inti the CNSA after Alban Bagbin and making sa declaration of parliament what happened and they say sa declaration at the end of the day everything that happens in parliament it was said wie na yehu say mistake bi animu a na eden speaker sign and sign a official document. Now the moment you be bibi of parliament yen sign ya speaker engine tumu entimu so no it is a draft enye document sebio obi abetuma gina so take a decision. Into that ruling from speaker that ruling was not a complete statement and I say a confirmed ruling from speaker. If you say now the ruling now make it was supposed to be entered into the document in parliament to make it an official ruling. Now what happened and they say adiebechino and omomwo parliament won't be a printed the ruling that has not been officially endorsed to be an official ruling and omdema afenyomakin so on fanko court. Inti ema speaker ni breye ka say document now dem afenyomakin coin a draft document. Then our time draft document edemo be so on fanko court if you say every time they sit in parliament what they do is they go through all the things they did the previous day and see say if there was a mistake somewhere they correct it. After they do the correction then it is endorsed to say the previous meeting has been endorsed to be an official or valid document. Afenyomakin took a draft document that has not been endorsed by parliament into the document Afenyomakin took to the Supreme Court na sa document and yet in the final document of parliament into sorry or yes speaker of parliament the lawyer ne catch Supreme Court to say you have judged on a half case or on a half truth. What Afenyomakin brought was not even an endorsed document from parliament. It was a draft. And even after that, Afenyomakin men came here to say things that were not accurate because Speaker of Parliament ruled on 4 MPs. He did not rule on 3 MPs. So it is scandalous for the Supreme Court of the land to say it's a draft document and that it wasn't a document that has been adopted and endorsed. In the first place, the beginning of this whole thing was scandalous. The Supreme Court, which has the oversight responsibility to make sure, say, every document that comes before Osonmame and her battalions, those documents have gone through the litmus test. We will know. Because you see, the draft that Alpha Nyomakin took to the Supreme Court, if Alpha Nyomakin had sent the draft to the High Court would have referred Alpha Nyomakin, or would have sent Alpha Nyomakin back to Parliament to present the endorsed proceedings. But because the Chief Justice was in a rush, the Chief Justice wanted to go against the process. The Chief Justice does not respect due process. She basically wrote Alpha Nyomakin's application for him, gave it to him and said, bring it to me, and that I will make sure you get a ruling. That is why we are here today. So the Chief Justice is writing his own application and answering his own application and giving ruling on his own application. And as we sit here, the Chief Justice of Ghana today is undermining courts in Ghana from her own hypothetical statement. How can you sit in the Supreme Court and make hypothetical statement that if the case had gone to the High Court, it would have come to you? You don't know. You never know. Because maybe if the case had gone to the High Court, it wouldn't have been an ex parte case.
Of case. Even if the parties had gone to the High Court under Article 99, the High Court would have been compelled by Article 132, as happened in the case of ex parte Zaneto Rawlings, to refer these contested meanings to the Supreme Court to determine the correct interpretation.
But which one of you, sir, and your friend, your first segment way, Papa Anya Shia, Bonia, your friend Bonnie, and also Enya Shi. So I have 8 questions. In fact, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 questions for a year. One of the women judges at the Supreme Court. Now, let me put this on the screen first. These are all the women are almost Supreme Court, so I'm going to keep this on the screen. Senebeya, when I put the questions out, all the women at the Supreme Court, obia dinwum into obia NTA. Why are they we concerned? No? Be honest with yourself. Come out and let the people know. Resign before it gets murkier. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying, it will be better for all of us to protect our integrity. Okay. Emma Omo Ghana Supreme Court now. Omo 5. Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Tokonu, she is the Chief Justice. Justice Mariama Owusu, she's a judge, senior judge at the Supreme Court. Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson, she's also a judge at the Supreme Court. Justice Professor Henrietta Joy Abenanyakum Mensa Bonsu, she's also at the Supreme Court. And Justice Barbara F. Aka Yensu, she is also at the Supreme Court. Team, stay with me. Now, Mr. P, stay with me. Mr. S, stay with me. My first question to these judges, there's one judge I'm sending these questions to, and we are going to cut this piece. The judge now, Owasa Emawemuno, also Obabontibe Ansa. There are videos, there are car numbers, there are pictures, there are text messages. Nobody is God in Ghana. Say Papa a friend Papa Anyashia, Bonnie a friend Bonnie Enyashi. Now, which Supreme Court judge Oyoba, which one of you goes to sleep at McCarthy Hill? Which one of you Supreme Court judges you say you are married goes to sleep at McCarthy Hill? Second question. Which of you Supreme Court judges Oyoba, the place you go to sleep, the gentleman now Okodanifino, that gentleman was going through a divorce, and you, the judge, we are one of the female Supreme Court judges. You actually got that gentleman a lawyer. Question number 3. You, this Supreme Court judge, Oyoba, Sa nipa 5 you are about 15 years older than this gentleman. You are about 15 years old. You are older. You are 15 years older than this gentleman. That's question number 3. Question 4, and this is a specific question. There is a place near the Swiss school, near Ekufuadu's place. You, this woman, have you been sharing bed in that neighborhood with a member of parliament? Listen, there is a specific place near the Swiss school. It's very near to Ekufuadu's place. You, the Supreme Court judge, you are a woman, you say you are married. You have been sharing bed with another politician. I'm giving you specifics so that you know that I know what I'm talking about. Who is this gentleman? Question number 5. Now, let me go more deeper. The gentleman you, this chief person, you are seeing. The person you, this judge, you are seeing in Ghana is a businessman. He's rich. He's less educated. You, this woman judge, you go to this man's house. And the funny thing is you leave the house 5 a.m. every morning. 5 a.m. The gentleman's name is Emmanuel. For some reason, I'm not going to add the second one. He is linked to some kind of milk in Ghana. The gentleman is called Emmanuel. He is linked to some kind of product in Ghana, milk product in Ghana. His name is Emmanuel. His date of birth is the 31st of March. I'm being specific so that you know what I'm talking about. There are pictures, there are videos, there are chats. Because most of you are saying you are Christians. You are married, you stay with your husbands, there's no problem. The gentleman is called Emmanuel. He's linked with a product called milk. This gentleman was born on the 31st of March. He was born on the 31st of March. Okay. You always leave this place at 5 a.m. You change cars. So we have about 3 car numbers and the 3 cars that you use in going and coming every time. Now this is specific. What was Alpha OneTV doing at you, the judge's place near Wireless around Cantonment? What was Alpha OneTV doing at your place? What was Alpha OneTV doing at Wireless around Cantonment? What was Alpha OneTV doing at your place? On the 11th of November, Papa Anyashia, Bonnie Anyashi.
I think for what in summer I also to say, if we ask no, the oyen we ask be you think say, and if be any say we sneaky into the MP no new room and answer any fee equada abra when so wokuno. Nam because of say MP is suffering from some divorce cases being you have the right opportunity to sneak into MP room. To say in a way say when in a air trimpana would me and upper 5 and I'll pay free for a cool fee and son walk and people have been watching you with their cameras. I wouldn't say you have all. You think say with a different cars I pay for people will not understand, people will not see it and just notify you say 1 hour yes I unza to a daddy. Supreme Court Judge Chrono unza to a daddy. And because of say winning the panel air chimpana entino where we really against the right thing that need to be done. So what do we so? And on the 11th of December, welcome 11th of December, it be video no and then the footage, the full one just a reality. Whatever is in no, yeah, the back 11th November, yeah, na ye stay tuned. Say, Obetina, and as I'll subscribe to Alpha 1GH. Say, yeah, the update in the bar, who when you saw dear. Say, more sorry, and I'm more for them, a Christo for more Panam, a Mukurumachi. Sana was say, because of that, you are taking everything in your hand just to throw away the constitution of Ghana. Now make I say hi Alpha 1GH message so when you subscribe to Alpha 1GH message over subscribe. No like no share. No turn on notification bell. No say update PI be no. So put me can make I say comment section once you're there. Message so we leave you comment maybe be across one Akroma.